Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're unpacking a truly monumental shift in international relocation. New Zealand is completely re engineering its skilled migration system in 2026. And honestly, the stakes have literally never been higher. Whether you're a corporate employer planning out your workforce or a professional mapping out your family's entire future, the old historical work to residence model is changing rapidly. So, this explainer is going to be your ultimate guide to those 2026 structural shifts. We're going to break down the points, the jobs, and the exact pathways to permanent residency so you can navigate this massive transition with absolute confidence.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the 2026 immigration overhaul, move on to meeting the 6-point threshold, look at the red and amber occupation lists, navigate the new wage thresholds, go over fees, timelines, and compliance, and finally, wrap up with securing permanent residency. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, the 2026 immigration overhaul, a watershed year for skilled migrants. Now, the landscape is shifting rapidly, and you can see exactly why immediate action is so crucial here. On January 1st, Visa Application Center service fees increase across dozens of countries. By March 9th, the new $35 an hour median wage kicks in, and that alters eligibility basically overnight. Then June brings tighter English standards for mid-skilled work visas, and finally, the massive structural overhaul of the skilled migrant category takes effect on August 24th. The clock is definitely ticking, and understanding these dates is absolutely your first strategic advantage.
Moving to Section 2, meeting the 6-point threshold, the foundational grid for skilled residency.
So, to qualify under the primary skilled migrant category, you have to accumulate 6 points from a single skilled category. This can be your occupational registration, your academic qualification, or your income. Under this new grid, if you have a doctoral degree, or say you earn 3 times the median wage, boom, you instantly secure all 6 points. You don't even need prior New Zealand work experience. But if your primary category leaves you at a deficit, let's say you have a bachelor's degree which only grants you 3 points, well, you must make up those remaining 3 points through exactly 3 years of skilled work experience right there onshore in New Zealand. And this pod brilliantly illustrates the government's long-term strategy. The August 2026 guidelines introduce a structural premium for domestic education. Basically, if you complete your qualification onshore in New Zealand, you earn 1 additional point compared to someone with the exact same degree who completed it overseas. It's a really clear, powerful incentive, completely designed to transition international students directly into the domestic knowledge economy.
But hey, what if your expertise is highly practical rather than, strictly academic? Well, for highly practical fields, the August 2026 reforms opened 2 brand new doors for professionals who were previously kind of locked out of the degree-heavy point system. The trades and technician pathway fast-tracks migrants in specific skill level 1 to 3 trades. You just need a level 4 qualification, 4 years total experience, and 1.5 years working onshore in New Zealand at the median wage. Meanwhile, the skilled work experience pathway applies to broader roles. That one requires 5 years of relevant experience, with 2 of those years completed onshore, earning just slightly above the median wage.
Okay, Section 3, the red and amber occupation lists, navigating immigration risk management. This is where we have to navigate some serious roadblocks because your specific job title can now radically alter your residency roadmap. To curb role inflation, New Zealand has instituted a massive if-then trade-off. If your occupation lands on the red list, you're completely excluded from those new practical August pathways we just talked about. You're forced to rely solely on the strict standard 6-point system. Now, if your job is on the amber list, you're still eligible for the new skilled work experience pathway, but the bar is definitely raised. You have to earn at least 1.2 times the median wage during your 2 onshore years. Let's ground this with some actual examples. If you're a retail manager or a hairdresser, you're on the red list. You face a very steep climb, needing a high-level degree or a massive income to get your 6 points. If you're a cafe manager or an ICT support tech, you're on the amber list. Contrast this with the green list, which basically operates entirely outside this system. It offers separate, streamlined fast tracks, sometimes literally straight to residence, for highly specialized engineers, healthcare workers, and construction professionals.
Right, Section 4, navigating new wage thresholds, the financial realities of residency.
Now, what's really interesting here is this single number, 35 New Zealand dollars. Effective March 9, 2026, the General Immigration Median Wage Index is updated to this exact hourly figure. This is the foundational baseline for skilled residence pathways, and it dictates exactly what you need to earn to claim those all-important points. And to put that into perspective, here is how that $35 baseline multiplies exponentially. If your job is classified as an ANS-NTSCO skill level 1, 2, or 3, you just need to meet that $35 baseline. Pretty straightforward. But if your job is a lower skill level 4 or 5, you have to earn 1.5 times the median wage. That's $52.50 an hour just to be recognized as skilled. And if you want to bypass qualifications entirely and claim all 6 points purely on income, you're going to need to earn 3 times the median wage. That is a staggering $105 per hour. Looking at those multiples, it's supernatural to ask this high-stakes question. What happens if the national median wage goes up again before I actually start working? Historically, this was a massive, massive anxiety for migrants on multi-year tracks who suddenly found themselves completely priced out of residency. Well, the crucial point here is that the government has introduced a wage lock-in policy to eliminate that sliding scale trap. If you begin your skilled work experience within a 5-month grace period of your visa being granted, the wage threshold from the exact day your visa was granted is locked in. This completely protects you from future median wage hikes, giving you and your family some much-needed financial predictability. Section 5. Fees, timelines, and compliance. Administrative hurdles to clear. Getting your points aligned is only half the battle, right? Now we have to clear the administrative hurdles. And you definitely need to budget carefully for this. The base application fee for the skilled migrant category is $6,450 New Zealand dollars per family. And remember, those visa application center service fees are increasing globally across more than 20 countries, including the US, the UK, and India. But there is some good news on the compliance front. English test validity is extending to 5 years for those with recognized occupational registrations, like the newly recognized CPA Australia accountants. And, crucially, in 2027, a mechanism will be introduced allowing migrants to extend their accredited employer work visa for 12 months, just to bridge the gap and finish their required work experience. Finally, Section 6, Securing Permanent Residency, Crossing the Final Finish Line. There is a deeply misunderstood difference in New Zealand between getting your initial resident visa and crossing that absolute final finish line to full permanent residency. When you get that initial resident visa, it usually comes with Section 49 conditions. This is essentially a regulatory lock-in mechanism. It legally obligates you to stay in your specific accredited job at your declared wage for a specified period, usually somewhere between 3 to 12 months after the visa is approved. Your travel rights are also restricted, so getting the visa isn't really the end. It's more like the beginning of a probationary period. To actually shed those conditions and unlock unrestricted travel and full permanent residency, you have to methodically follow these 4 steps. First, fulfill that mandated onshore employment period. Next, meticulously gather your inland revenue tax records and your payslips. Then, secure a formal compliance declaration letter from your employer. And finally, formally request the removal of the conditions from Immigration New Zealand. Only then is your residency truly absolute and secure. Which brings us to the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. Look at your current roadmap. Are you strategically prepared for that August 24th structural shift? Are you locking in your wage rates and utilizing that domestic education premium? Or will your occupation unexpectedly leave you stranded on the red list? Look, the rules are set, the dates are locked in, and the time to verify your ANS-ESCO codes and wage metrics is right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. Stay focused and keep learning.